So let's now make sure that only users who created an event are able to delete or update it. And to make sure that that's the case, we'll essentially have to take a look at the event that should be updated or deleted and compare the stored connected user ID to the user ID that was extracted from the token. And that user ID, as you learned before, is available globally because we are setting it here on our context. So back in the events.go file, here in update event, I now want to add an extra step. We are getting the event here by ID, though at the moment I actually don't care about it, and that will change now. I will now care about it, because now, before I try to update it, I want to take a look at that event and compare the stored user ID to the user ID I got from the token. Now, therefore, of course, we can use this logic to get the user ID from the context. So this logic which we used in create event, we can copy that and also get hold of the user ID here in update event. And then here, after we got an event, I want to check if event.userid is not equal with this operator here to user ID. So to the user ID I got from the token in the end, which was part of my context. And here we also need a colon, by the way, because this event variable is a brand new variable that's being created here. So with that down here, we are checking whether the IDs are not equal. And if they aren't, I of course want to return and not continue. And I also want to send back an error response. So I'll use context JSON and again use this unauthorized status code here and also send back my response map here with a message of not authorized to update event. And therefore now with this extra step here, we're making sure that this event cannot be updated by users who did not create it. So in order to test this, I will again start by getting all my events and by starting my server, of course, which must be up and running. So then I'll get all my events. And now let's say it's this last event here, in my case, with an ID 5 that belongs to the user with ID 2, which I want to update. And as a first step, I will start with that update event request here without sending any token at all. So I will target the event with ID 5 and then use this data. And if I send this request, I of course get back not authorized because we got no token. So as a next step, let's log in, but let's log in with a different user, not the user who created it. If we do that, we of course get a token. So we can use that now. And then here on that update event request, we can add this authorization header and set it to that token. But of course now I get not authorized to update event because it's the wrong user. It's a logged in user, but the wrong user. Therefore now last but not least, I'll log in with the correct user and now use the token of this user. And hopefully unsurprisingly, if we now use this token here for this update event request, the event was updated successfully. As you can also see, if you get all events again, there the last event was updated. And now we can of course implement the same logic for deleting events. I'll start by getting the user ID from my context. And then here in delete event, I'll get hold of that user ID. And then we can copy that check from before. So I'll copy this check here, where I compare user IDs. And I'll perform that same comparison down there before we call delete. Well, and therefore with that, if you restart the server so that the latest changes are picked up, if you go to delete event, and I try to delete the event with an ID of 5, and I do now use an invalid token, or not an invalid, but a token from the wrong user. If I grab this token here and I try using that for my delete request here, so if I try to delete this event with a token from a user who did not create the event, I get this not authorized error with the wrong text. We'll fix that soon, but I get this error as it should be the case. And of course, therefore, if we now log in with the correct user and we use this token here to delete the event like this, you see that it succeeds. And hence, if I get all events again, you will see that that last event is now gone. Now there's just one small thing. I want to change the error message here in delete event. Of course, I don't want to say not authorized to update event, but instead not authorized to delete event. But that's there for it.